Hello, I'm continuing my TV series here of Magnus Carlsen's best games. I'm currently on 2008 and I am looking at the Zee tournament in 2008. As you can see here, it was won by Vladimir and Magnus Carlsen. And Kasparov had already retired, so the highest rated players was, as you can see here, Anand and Kramnik. And now we will see the game Magnus plays against Kramnik, but you can see it's a very impressive field. So just being 17 like Magnus was here was a very impressive result. So I've found the game here. Magnus plays against Vladimir Kramnik. Vladimir Kramnik was world champion at this time, so it was first time I think that Magnus Carlsen played a world champion. As you know, Kramnik was a very, very strong chess player at this time, and he defeated Kasparov in a famous match. And Kramnik is famous because he's a very, very good theoretician, and many of his openings ideas are like trend setting. So like lots of players follow Kramnik's games and style and ideas. And against, like when he won his game against Kasparov, of course, as you know, he played this as black, the Berlin defense, and Kasparov tried like every white game to defeat this opening, but he couldn't. And Kasparov also being very stubborn, he should have switched to try something else, maybe instead of this forced variation, maybe try 4d3 here, or maybe bishop c4 instead of bishop b5 or so. But so Kramnik is a very smart player, and at this time I had bought, there was a chess book series. It was called, it wasn't by Kramnik, but it was by some other players has written it. It was like something like play knight 1 and knight f3 as Kramnik. I was playing a different kind of setup with knight f3 or d4 or c4 and so on. So Kramnik used to start with this knight f3. That was his favorite move, and the reason will become clear here as we move on, because here in this position, instead of allowing the Queen's Indian, Kramnik plays this move or order. And basically, if Magnus tries to go for the Nimsu Indian here, then white won't play d4, but he will play this one, and then a3, and he will win the bishop. And when white has not played the pawn to c4, it's not so easy for black to get counterplay with d5 and c5 and so on. So that's Kramnik's plan. So Magnus instead, he plays also a system that I enjoy a lot. This one is called the hedgehog system. Black tries to put his pawns like this, and it's called the hedgehog because it's controlling all the squares on the 5th rank. So this is the standard theory. And now white is threatening this, so a6 is very important here. This is all theory. So let's put on you can see the evaluation here. Here is an interesting move by Magnus. Instead of like knight e8 looks a little bit strange, but Magnus had probably for sure he had analyzed this with computer and with his trainer Peter Nielsen and others, because knight e8 looks kind of wrong, but if black maybe if black's next move is h6 and driving back to white knight, maybe it's fine. later. He can do that whenever he wants. So that rook maneuver that's also helps to defend. I think it was because maybe white could have tried bishop a3, and then you probably needed a rook here to get 4 defenders on d6. Okay, so this move here, Magnus is very much he's showing that he would go for a win already. Like, even if he's playing the world champion, he has, like, Magnus has this kind of a he has this kind of spirit that a lot of strong chess players believe. Most of the best chess players, they think I'm the best in the world. Like, no one can beat me. I can do whatever I want, even playing f5 here, which actually the computer he likes it, but it looks, to me, it looks like a dangerous move, weakening the king side. But the computer likes it, so it's obviously it's obviously the best move here. And that spirit that, like, that Kramnik also have, Magnus, Kramnik, Kamsky, Kasparov, that it has unfortunately backfired quite a lot, because there have been, like, the last years, there have been, like, lots of talks. For example, when Magnus he lost again against Hans Niemann, and then he was, how can I lose to Niemann? He must have cheated. And Kramnik is the same. If he plays, he only play blitz and rapid now, but every time he loses, he can't accept that he's getting old and not so good as he was before. That, like, he can easily lose a blitz game, and it's a little bit sad to see. They are like, I lost, so they must cheat. And a lot of the best players, unfortunately, have gotten that mentality now. So that's a big shame, because it makes chess, outsiders that look at chess, they think chess is getting a bit ridiculous. So, but it's the way it is. So, but Magnus shows here that he's not afraid at all of Kramnik. Even if Kramnik is world champion and high rated, he thinks he should beat Kramnik here. So he's playing f5, driving the knight back, and not only f5, which I could buy, like, that's a fine move, but also g5, and that just looks very dangerous opening for this bishop here. But the computer like it, as you can see. So the computer thinks black should play like this. It might also have been that this might have been a preparation or some kind of idea by Peter Nielsen, but I don't think so. I think it's more likely that Magnus found this over the board. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button here. Excuse me for that. So we were here, yeah. White retreated with the queen, and then he plays g4, and then the knight also has to retreat. Apparently it looks like knight e1 is the right. Why can't white go here? It looks reasonable to me. Apparently Magnus' idea would have been this one here and knight e5. I guess the computer doesn't really like to weaken that, especially the f3 square, and maybe queen e8 can come with check. Something computer thinks that black can get some kind of attack with this. Yeah, it looks actually quite good for black, actually. White doesn't have so much counterplay, so it shows the deep positional understanding by Magnus Carlsen. Okay, knight e1. It was best move according to. He did that anyway to provoke this this one here, but yeah, maybe it's because this knight is a little bit more safe here, I guess. So rook ff7. I don't understand it, but I guess the plan must be like this, and he wants to keep a rook defending d6. Okay, computer liked e5 here a bit more, not allowing white to develop his piece. But actually now, okay, so the computer think you should take here first. Then maybe do this. That looks weird also, like giving up this bishop. But I guess black's knight has a very active square here on e4. So let's see what happens. He went here. And queen e8 is inaccurate. Yeah, knight 94 was best. Yeah, it looks normal to go in here with that tempo. But maybe Magnus didn't think that bishop takes f6 is correct. And again now white had a chance to take away this dangerous knight. This every move now is inaccurate apparently. Yeah, e5 blocking this, preparing 94 was better. Yeah, this rook shouldn't be here. It should be after h5. This rook should go to h7 instead, of course. Okay. Yeah, now black had to lose a tempo here. Had to move the rook again. He should have done h5 before, so he could go to h7. Okay, that's interesting. h4 was accurate here. Why is that so good? Yeah, I guess that if you go back, then you can't open the file easily. So I guess that's the idea. Okay, so Magnus sacrifices a pawn here. Okay, they think you should take. Computer thinks better to take. Interesting. And maybe go back. Also this, there seem to be tactics here. Let's see how that line is. Okay, so it becomes something like this. Black has one pawn and a rook. No, 2 pawns and a rook for the knight. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think, maybe they didn't see all that far, but okay, so white took here. Problem is apparently rook a7 to take back this pawn and get an active rook. Okay, here trade. Okay, so the computer likes black now. Yeah, that rook is kind of active and bad isolated pawn here. So this is like, it's a little bit like black is a pawn up because these two are very bad. Maybe take here was better. Yeah, this is typical Magnus. He has like a much deeper positional understanding than Kramnik. Kramnik is good at positional play, but his strong positional play, it's not, in my opinion, it is because he has analyzed the opening systems very deep and knows like the plans. But here, if his opponent makes something unconventional like f5 or g5 or so, then yeah, then Magnus is much superior to him, as we can see in this game. So okay, so this was a tactical mistake. Apparently f3 was needed. Then it could go like this. Take here. Yeah, and black is in control, like e5, knight f3, and if white when Wijk takes, he gets like a very dangerous passer here on f3. So, but this is even worse for White apparently. Yeah, that square is just great, and this. It's almost like, despite not many pieces, it's almost like black has a mating attack here actually. Like knight here, rook takes here with mate, or just doubling like rook b1, rook a1 is just crushing here. Yeah, it's 2 pawns up, and the white king is still in that mating net like position. Okay, so black wins here. So yeah, very nice game by Magnus, and an impressive tournament victory against the world champion. So I think Kramnik was the world champion. Let's see here. Maybe he had lost to Anand. Maybe Anand is, because it says here to 2007. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, it's a very strong player and from world champion that Magnus defeated relatively easily. The most interesting and important stuff here was definitely this play here. Like from this position, it's just computer likes it for white. It thinks it's fine position, and then Magnus goes berserk here with f5 and g4 and g5, weakening his king. But yeah, it didn't seem like Vladimir did anything really wrong. It was not a big mistake by white by any means. It was just a very impressive positional play here by Magnus, and this f5 g5 is just completely new ID in this opening. So yeah, very enjoyable game by Magnus. I will find another one and see you shortly.